starting it up. We can just keep talking. I got a whole lot of Dominican because that's my choice. Because the tobacco, the seed comes from Cuba, and you can get Dominican seeded tobacco, and it's really, man, it just tastes. They all have a really pleasant, mild taste.
Right.
And that's my favorite. So I'm going through. I meant to keep all the little tags on that, and I did it again. I forgot to turn off so that's my thing now. So I got 80 reviews to do.
Well, that's good. I like that idea. Every video you fire it up with a different cigar. That's a good little theme there.
Yeah, I like it. I was watching. There is one Mgtow that he does cigar reviews, and I don't want to tread on his territory, but I do like him. Yeah, I'm opening up my box now. I gave 20 to my son yesterday, and I was looking for my next one. Oh yeah, they got some. It's a Big Dog. You ever smoke a Big Dog?
I don't think I've heard of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try next. It's a Dominican. I think it's a Dominican. And let me see. Look on the side. Imported, of course. Hand rolled. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Dominican Republic. And that'll be my next. I just smoked an El Diamante. It's a Cuban rewrap and then an express Cuban. I think I enjoyed the El Diamante better than I explored the express one. And I had one of those girl cigars yesterday, and it broke. The packaging broke on it. It was it exploded. You know, you smoke them sometimes, and then they start swelling.
Yeah.
And it just split right down the seam, and I was like, oh, that sucks.
All right.
Well, you know, they're like, you know, anywhere between, you know, $4 and $8 a cigar anyways.
Yeah. That's what, now you just reminded me why I don't smoke cigars. $4 $8 a piece. I got these little Swisher Sweets that I was using to roll blunts back when I was smoking. They're not that bad for a little shitty grocery store, you know.
Yeah, Swisher Sweets are okay. That's a nice sweet, mild. It's a thin cigar, nice. That's what a 24 wrap. It's a nice little cigar. There's a lot of little tricks I've been learning again. I used to smoke cigars all the time. When I was married, I had the same. That's why I used Thompson. I just ordered, then they'd send me my cigars every month, and they make this Tampa tobacco. They say it's a Tampa tobacco, but I think it's imported, and they're about the size of a Swisher Sweet. And I could get a whole bundle of them for like $20 at the time. This was probably in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
And man, as I was working, and at that time I was a millwright. So as I was working, I would just keep one of those hanging out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Chew on it, and it was a nice thing. You know, it was a nice thing all day. It cut back on my cigarette smoking too.
Yeah.
When I work, I'm a constant smoker because my mind is always like, it's always a mechanical or electrical problem. And that shit is just so, man, I can't believe when I used to do that. It's so mentally exhausting.
Uh-huh.
And I'd smoke one cigarette at a time after a time when I was looking at an electrical box or something. And we had these huge electrical boxes. So I'm looking, and they go, find the problem. You're looking at 10,000 wires, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like, okay, yeah, I'll do that, boss. You know, give me 2 minutes, you know? But that was their attitude. You know how it is. And I don't know if you ever worked in industry, but it's like, get it done now, you know?
Yeah, never did.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, I worked most of the time I spent on my area was sort of this heat treater. We had a string of heat treaters, and heat treaters are really and there was plasma cutters and heat treaters. I had to take care of the plasma cutters, the heat treaters, and do the general, you know, machine. The presses wouldn't break down all that much, and the furnaces were we take care of the furnaces like once a year, and they just pretty much run all the time anyways. But this heat treater was it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes, and then another box on the other side. We're talking about electrical boxes about the size of a wall, you know, and there's always like constant work, and it's always blowing out things. There's hot salt inside of these things, and they just decay wires.
Right.
It was always hot. It was always felt like 140 degrees everywhere, and there was salt all over your body, and no one appreciates you're just some guy in some shop burning up, you know. Yeah, let's see. James Denton's heartburn. Did you get your chance to check out my pip yet? What's a pip yet?
He was recommending a video game, but I was looking for Xbox games. That game I don't believe is on. If it's on Xbox, I wasn't aware of that. I'll have to look for it.
Oh yeah, you were talking about the Xbox. Was there a problem with everybody's talking about the Xbox lately?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I had a little issue with it not playing audio messages or whatever, but as far as like having bought it, I think it's fabulous, man. That thing controls my television. I have it all piped through my Xbox now. So when I go from the Xbox back to the television, it does the switching for me. It's fucking great, man. Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with Roku or
Roku, yeah.
It's basically a big ass Roku. You know, it does all that a Roku will do, but then of course you play your video games and, you know, interneting, browser on it, everything. It's just a fucking badass little $400 unit. It's worth every penny. $400? Yeah, I mean, so long as it lasts a few years and it doesn't get outdated by a new version, I'll be all right. But I've had nothing but fun with this thing. I'm so glad I bought it. Yeah,
they were saying, I think the trend of the argument was that Xbox was a little behind, but that was okay because it was better anyways.
Well, I definitely found out very quickly that most people prefer PlayStation. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, now that I have the Xbox, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. But
yeah,
it is Microsoft, and I fucking can't stand Microsoft. You know, I wish I didn't have to deal with them at all. That's my only problem using the Xbox.
They hijack everything, don't they?
Yeah, I would love to be able to get off Windows, but to be fair, I mean, to give it to Windows, I don't want to do Mac. You know, so I guess being on Windows is best I can do right now.
Yeah, I always had an aversion to Macs. I don't know why. I'd rather have just a regular PC with Microsoft on. As bad as Microsoft is, I didn't want to deal with any of that Mac problems or relearn it or
right.
But the kids, you know, nowadays, that's what they got in school. I think Mac has got contracts with, and that's what they learn on. I don't know. Maybe one of the younger guys in the chat could tell me what they teach them on in school now, but I'm pretty sure it's Macs or the iPod brand. You know, that whole brand from Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know my daughter had one, and I bought my kids one because that's what they wanted. It was freaking expensive at the time too.
Yeah.
Comparatively to what I've got, you know, I've got a Asus, you know, it's a good machine, and I like it because it's quiet.
Right.
But they wanted the Mac, so I bought them I can't remember which one it was. It just looked like a big TV screen. That's all it looked like to me.
Yeah.
I guess we get set in our ways. I like to see a box there, so I know there's something there.
Well, apparently, especially for video editing, it's supposedly Mac is preferable for editing video and photos and shit like that. I don't know. I guess they just handle that kind of shit better.
Yeah, I was doing that analyst, and I put the Asus up against the Mac, and then I filtered in that I wanted an imprinted board, and I wanted less heat, and I wanted quiet, and so I had to find a machine that was equal in that capacity, that you can play games and do the video editing. And with the A7's actually a really good, you know, it's top of the line. So I can't remember what you call the processor on the one I got, but you can get, you know, you can make the fatal mistake of not getting enough processing speed if you're buying a piece. That's what you have to really, and then your graphics card and your sound card and consider everything when you're buying it. You have to do your homework, geez, don't you?
I know. Every time I go to buy a new computer, I got to sit down and spend a couple of days figuring out what the best deal is going to be. I tried building my own computers before. It didn't really matter, so I just buy a brand new one when it's time.
Yeah, my brother does that. My twin brother, he does. He buys a box, and then while he's using his old computer, he'll just start buying parts for that box. Right. And as soon as it's done, he'll switch them out and give away his old computer. Yeah. But he's really good at that. I don't have that particular patience or talent in my life. It's the last argument I actually got with a woman, and this was just about 2 weeks ago. And you're out and about, and somebody starts arguing with you. She was like, she was talking, oh, I'm going to buy a computer, and I'm just going to get this, and it's going to be so great. And I looked over, and I said, well, she was talking about the Wi-Fi and the sound card and everything. And I said, well, you're going to have to really do your homework on that, because you don't really get a Wi-Fi card in most computers. You have to make sure you have it in that brand if you want to do Wi-Fi. And then she started arguing with me like, oh, I don't have to, they're just going to give it to me. And I said, no, they're not going to give you a $179 card for free. Right. You're going to have to pay for it. She thought she was going to run at a local store and, buy the common box and the one that was sitting on the shelf, and everything was going to come in it. I said, no, it doesn't work that way with a PC. You got to really be careful. So I see Dr. McCoy is in. Hello, James. Hello, James. And James Danton, he's always here. James said something funny to me the other day. He says, this is how I get my news. I was like, oh. So that's it. And John Mgtow's brother. Oh, hello, John. I haven't seen John around for a while. What you been up to, John? Hello, Joe. Yeah. So I can't remember what we left off on. I don't think we did any movie reviews last podcast, or the Deadpool came out this week, huh? Did you see it yet?
I have not seen it. I haven't seen Star Wars yet. Good Lord.
Yeah. What
I wanted to, but now that I've heard the reviews, I'm like, fuck it. I'll just wait for it to come out on television, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I do. I wait for it to come out on Amazon, and then I make sure it comes out on a single delivery, so I can cut the cost on that too. It's like, no, I'm not going to pay for, if I want 48 hours of this movie, not so it'll sit inside my drawer forever, Yeah. Or have to go movie theater. They're not that bad movie theaters, $10 or so. To go see it one time by yourself.
I was supposed to go see Star Wars down here with one of those big ass state of the art. Was it IMAX or whatever? I think the name of this. I was supposed to, but I never got down there. And then when I heard the reviews, I said, "Fuck that."
Yeah, you almost got to wait because they build these things up so big, but Deadpool did $135 million in one day, I think, it broke all records.
Deadpool's supposed to be like a raunchy kind of a superhero. He's supposed to be gay the next time, and Jesus Christ, they're gonna make him a bisexual or something. I heard that, but
he's. I don't know if he's burnt up at first. He's got that dark man thing happening where he got some kind of caustic accident. So I don't know the theme, but they got him really ugly, and then he puts the mask on. And there's one part that really bothered me. Did you see the trailer for it?
No.
He's doing his crime fighting duties and fighting people, and then they pause it and they show him thinking while he's doing that, and he says to himself, hey, wait a second, that's my future baby mama. Is that the way we're supposed to be pre-programmed to think?
Yeah, no shit.
Like I'm gonna get this girl, I'm gonna marry her, and then she's gonna be my baby mama. She's gonna divorce me, and then that's the next step to marriage nowadays. So there's a another additional step of dating, and then you get married, and then you get a divorce, and then it's a 4-step process now.
John Mgtow brother, he says, I'm getting back into the Mgtow community after being gone for a while. Does that mean you fell off the wagon with some chick?
Yeah. I see. John, I used to see him around a lot, and then I haven't seen it. Where was that? Whistler 77 page, I think. If I'm thinking right, he'll let me know. I seen Whistler 77 back around too. So yeah, one of the older guys or middle-aged guys that's been around forever. Unfortunately, yes.
Did you end up impregnating anybody or signing the marriage contract, John? That's what matters.
That's what matters. Whisper, yeah, 77.
If she just fucked your head up a little bit, I mean, you can live through that, but you get her pregnant or you get a marriage contract or something like that, then that's when you...
Oh, God, yeah, that's the ultimate mistake, and that's what we try to...
Then you're good, John Mgtow, brother. Whatever happened is easy.
It's easy, yeah.
Cut your losses. You're doing fine.
Cut your losses on yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. I'm back, baby. Mgtow Oracle's in. Mgtow Oracle. Okay. Oh, yeah. I was talking to Mgtow Oracle this week about something, and I can't read. Oh, he's putting together he or she. I can't tell if that's a she or he. That looks like Ayn Rand. That's why I kept. It's a he, obviously. He's putting together he's logging Mgtow videos and everything for the future and in categories. So he wanted me to put some input in that, and I haven't got. I have 540 videos, so logging all the videos is really impossible unless all my viewers go back and listen to one video and then kind of send me a message what category they think it falls under.
Yeah.
Then I can go down and because I hate listening to myself. I told you that before. I can't even listen to my. I rarely go back after I talk on a video because there's a quality in my voice that I just hate hearing.
Yeah.
It's the Oracle from the Matrix movie. Yes, that's the Oracle from the Matrix movie. She was baking the cookies. Yeah, that's why she used the Oracle. Okay. Oracle.
So you were going to address this Paul Wilson? Apparently, what'd you do to him, Joe? Did you block Paul Wilson?
Why block me? I wanted to know. Oh, I don't have nobody blocked. I know what may have happened. Did you get an argument? I don't have control over the chat settings. I give that to somebody else. They may have blocked you, but I don't have nobody blocked. I don't block people. Yeah, that's just, I don't block anybody. You blocked me on my account. Nope, you can check that right now. There's nobody. There shouldn't be nobody blocked. No, I can pull it up and show. Well, I would do that on air. Oh, I could actually.
We believe you. We believe you. You don't
I don't want to pull it up on air and show you my settings.
Yeah,
and everything.
Show all kinds of shit by accident.
yeah, but I don't block nobody. I decided about a month ago that I was gonna just anybody I had Dean Esme and Yo Baxa and Alex Brown and Immortal at that time because they were just saying bad things to me, and I had them all blocked. So I just took it off because I felt like, why block somebody? If they want to say it to me and we'll argue it out or whatever. And I have a new attitude about that now. And so, no, I don't do that no more. Now, there's another way that can happen too. If somebody in the chat somebody in this, like if Heartburn had you blocked, I don't know if you could chat. Or one of the other people that were in the actual. Does that work on the chat too? What do you think?
I have no idea. God only knows what's making this thing and Google what parameters fix what. Good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, the parameter in the last we had real problems on the last one. It cut out halfway through. Did you see that? And it was cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was irritating. I'm gonna light this big dog up now. Yeah, big dog. I wish I could show you how to do this. I do not clip my cigars. I just take a toothpick and I poke some holes in the end with a nice rounded end. You should never clip your cigars. They give you those clippers and they're junk. Don't do that. Take a toothpick and punch the holes in, and that way you have that nice smooth end, and the tobacco doesn't start falling off in your mouth, and it makes it a more pleasurable experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sell the rods too. I haven't gone out and bought a rod that you just drive down through the whole cigar.
Heartburn, I sent you a message to on YouTube. I got your message, and I don't really just take whatever videos you want. I don't care.
Yeah, she wants to
go.
He wants to categorize them.
I don't mind. You can just look at my playlist for Mgtow. That would be the videos you can choose if you like.
So this is pretty good. It's a light wrap Maduro. It's a little green in areas, but it's perfectly wrapped, and it's got a little lighter taste to it. Probably a nice nighttime cigar. It's called Big Dog.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I always like the very sweet cigars. I don't know why. Maybe I should expand my horizon. There's just something about a nice, mild, sweet cigar.
Yeah, like the Swisher Sweets always got that little sugary taste in it.
I might be a noob for doing it, but I think that's just the way I like them, you know?
Yeah, they got flavored ones. They're decent, and you don't have to be a traditionalist and go get a 60 wrap Cuban, and because them really suck. Sometimes you don't know what you're getting. They're really they're really strong too. Depending on what you want in a cigar, you should really kind of do the research. But the little ones, like I said, I like those little Tampa ones. You know what I started smoking? I don't know if you remember them. They were called Backwoods.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they were a cigar that had the both ends that were just kind of flaky, and they never kind of wrapped the ends. And that was the original. It was called the Backwoods cigar, and then you had to clip both ends and then light it. I started smoking those when I was in my 20s at work. They just keep one in my mouth, and they're like the little Clint Eastwood cigar. And so I kind of pictured myself as Clint Eastwood with the cigar hanging out of my mouth. Yeah. So happy International Mgtow. Yes, happy International Mgtow Day to all the guys. It's our holiday. Someday we'll have a festival somewhere, a happy International Mgtow Day festival. Can you see that happening?
Well, listen, I mean, I've already got now, James Denton lives within the area. I mean, more and more Mgtows find each other locally, man. Let me tell you something. I'm going to have if we get enough people, I'm going to have Mgtow barbecue in my yard and a damn poker game, but there's only two of us that I know. There's only one other Mgtow I know that's, in my area so far.
Okay, yeah. Well, James is close to Warhorse too, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like James is in the middle and Warhorse is on the other side of the state. So I guess
Warhorse
meeting in James's area would be the best for,
Oh yeah, so there's three, and I know there's a lot of guys from Florida actually that we don't generally talk to, but there's a lot of guys around from even in my area. Steve Hoka's I could throw. He's a 5-10 minute drive away from me. And there's the guy from Sandusky. He's up there in the area. And I know there's a couple, one in Medina. And so, it's happening. We're seeing it getting closer and closer. I'm waiting for the first one in my town to come on. And in Lorain, Ohio, if there's anybody from Lorain. Oh, you know who else is from my area? Lone Wolf, I think, is from my area.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's from the other side of Cleveland. So it's, it's happening. We just got to get it together someday. Where would we have an international Mgtow Day? New Orleans?
Vegas, Vegas.
Vegas? Yeah, Vegas. Cheap flights and
yeah, it's a very manageable trip. Even wherever you come from anywhere in the country, you get very good plane rides in.
Yeah.
Very inexpensive. Ask James. James stayed there with $50-$60 a night in a very nice hotel right on the strip. You know.
Yeah. They kind of comp you to get you in there, don't they? And
they will once you're there for a while. If you get a player's card, I'm always using my comps. It's not bad. It's not a bad deal at all out there.
Okay, Mgtow Oracle says she's in Toledo, Ohio. He's in Toledo, Ohio. Okay. Yeah, there's a few up in that area too. Toledo and Sandusky, all the way down Lorain to Cleveland is a popular Mgtow area. Yeah. Can you imagine letting like 40,000 Mgtows loose on Las Vegas?
Be awesome.
I don't know if we take over the town, but I think there would be a little more excitement in the town. You know, all the single guys. I bet you would have a hard time finding a prostitute that night.
Well, they've got these trucks that drive up and down the strip all day with a billboard, you know, on the back of the truck. Like that's, you know, and it's always, you know, girls straight to your hotel room. Yeah. Call this number. It's amazing, you know.
It's amazing. Yeah. I never
done it, but I mean, the fact that it's available, I take comfort in that for some reason.
Yeah. It's always there in case you just want to try that out again, see if it was the same as the last time. But you don't really need that because, God, I tell this to guys so often. There are so many, you know, you just go on the internet for like 1 minute and there's women that want to come over your house and do that now, and Tinder and all those. I've never went on Tinder myself, but you know, my buddy does it all the time, and he's a 60-year-old guy, and if he can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into that. I forget what he calls it. He calls it call a chicken head or something.
Yeah.
Oh my! And no problem with women's sexuality nowadays. Now, when I was growing up, God, it was so much different in the 70s. There was a certain modesty back then that changed with what do they call hooking up, the hookup culture.
Yeah.
That was an oddity for me to witness, the hookup culture. I don't know if it do you think the hookup culture was any different than the free love culture?
Probably not.
Probably not, except free love was a little more, you know, we didn't have the internet, and it was like you usually in somebody's backyard or behind a bar or in the woods. At some concert, you know, trying to, you know, hook up in a filthy bathroom of some concert area. That was crazy. But yeah, I don't think there's any much difference. So do you always play poker, or do you play anything else when you're in Vegas?
No, just poker. I don't do any other form of gambling at all. When I go to Vegas, when I get off the plane, there's always one. They got slot machines right in the damn airport. There's always that one slot machine. I always have a quarter. I put it in, pull the lever. I don't win nothing. That's the only gambling I do when I'm in Vegas. I go straight to the poker table, and I'm not leaving until my plane is coming to get me. You know, that's it.
Yeah, the slot machines are addicting, and they're just time wasters. Like if you want to drink a beer, you know, and sit and put $20 in a slot machine. But yeah, I used to play you know, a lot of poker. I like playing poker, and we used to have a bar up the street that every Sunday morning he would open up, and you had to know the owner to get in.
Yeah.
And then there was the table, or 2 tables, whoever showed up, maybe 3, 4 tables, and then we just play poker, have a few beers, and it was $160 buy-in, and
nice. Yeah,
it was nice. You know, you get maybe, you know, 50, 60 guys there with $160 buy-in. I never won it all.
Yeah,
but it would last, 6-7 hours, and yeah, you just sit around, play some poker, and it would get it's crazy when you get a bunch of guys like that, and even a few women in a room that's not controlled by security, and drinking beer and stuff. It gets a little it's fun. It's big fun.
It's fun. That's what. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. So I think first time I talked to you, actually, I had just won $400 that day. And I was like, yeah, good. Got some of my money back. But I stayed short term. I was playing 5-card for some short term. And I didn't get into the 7-card or the Hold'em. I just didn't want to do that day. So I just kind of walked in and had a 5-card game going. And you just kind of, buy your chips and then you walk away when you want to. Everybody hates it because you always get the guy that walks into the game. He'll win a couple hands and then leave. And it's like you're like, fuck, man, don't.
Yeah, no shit.
But that's the way it is at 5-card. 5-card's a rough game, isn't it?
I don't think I've ever played it at 5-card. It's always Hold'em or Omaha. Those are the only 2 games I've ever played in a card room. But
yeah, Hold'em's my. But I was raised on 5-card. That's what we always use. With kids in the neighborhood, we'd collect our change up or get our moms or dads to give us some change, and then on like Friday night we'd go up to the buddy's house and then find some way to buy beer, and then 5-card, dime 5-card.
Right.
Big fun with the kids, and that's where you start learning about cards. You always wanted to be the winner. And for years and years up on that, there was no poker in my area, or there was no casinos for years and years and years. So we'd all get together. I lived off the site of a bar when I first left home. Came back from the Army, and I rented a room on the side of a bar, and it's kind of normal, so you could just walk, and we'd have the Saturday night game and wait for it to get bloodied. The bar it was a punch palace too, so we'd keep the windows open in the front, and that way while we're playing, we always knew when the fights were coming out.
Yeah, no shit.
That was entertainment. The next morning, the guys, you get out there, and the bar he was hosing the blood off the sidewalk. It's like, yep, good night.
How's carbon poker? Well, I've got on my alternate channel, I just put up a video of me playing live on a 6-max sit and go. If you want to check that out, carbon's not bad. It's something to do for an American who can't access the big sites anymore. It's a nice little place just to keep fresh, but it's not really that juicy, I don't think.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last time. You got to watch. You don't get used to that kind of poker, huh?
Yeah, it's just different now. And the whole damn thing, needs to reboot with robust online sites available to Americans, and then poker will make a huge comeback.
Yeah. When 7-card first got I call it 7-card. They call it but when it first got popular, there was quite a robust scene online, and then thank you, Uncle Sam. They regulated the hell out of that, huh?
I'm telling it's fucking kills me. I'm a grown fucking man. I can't fucking play poker in my underwear in my house. Are you fucking kidding me? But it's okay if I drive 50 miles up to the poker room up here and spend my money there. Why? Because they're getting a cut of it.
They're getting a cut. Motherfuckers. Yeah, they're worried about taxes. They can still regulate taxes very easily. If you win over in the, what is it? If you win over $1,000 or something, you pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it is. Or $1,200, I think it is in Ohio. If you win over $1,200, you got to pay taxes, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That usually comes out to $983 I get if I win over $1,200.
Yeah.
Then did you really win over it? That's what I always ask myself. Did I really win over? If the taxes come under 1,000, did I really win over 1,000?
Yeah, no shit.
No shit. They it's greedy. It's almost what 25%.
Well, what is it? No, it's 28%.
28% now.
Yeah. Well, what is it? Here in Florida, it's you report the house if they pay you out more than 600, they report that, and then you'll get your thing. Yeah, it's 28% if you're paying on any poker winnings. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So it's about the same as $5.99 a lottery winning. If you win over $599 in a lottery, you have to go pay taxes on it. Right. But that's not really true. You have to get it from the bank. I won $1,000 on a scratch ticket about 2 years ago, and it was $1,000, and then they didn't take taxes out. They just handed me the $1,000, and I was like, "What?"
Well, they already took it out of the isn't that already baked right into your payout? Is their taxes?
Yeah, probably. They got to figure it out where they're making their money. They always got to figure it out. That was a good little hit. I was driving home. I had a few beers, and I stopped. I got a pack of cigarettes, and with the $5, I said, "Give me one of those $5 cards." And then I walked out and won $1,000. Yeah, I can't remember what I did with it anyways. I think I stuffed it in my drawer or something. But it was a nice little hit that day. Yeah. Yeah, always win when it's most unexpected. That's with cards too. Do you feel it some days when you're just everything's just kind of going right? You're feeling it.
Oh yeah.
It's not. You're not stressed. It's not important that you win. It's not important that you win. You're just having a regular day, and that's when you win.
Yeah, you got to get back. I'm telling you, when you get in that bad funk, they got that word in poker called tilt, like a pinball machine. You shake it too hard, it goes into tilt. And that's what they describe poker players. And if you get it, just some days you're not going to fucking win. You're just not going to get the cards. And every time you play a decent hand, you're going to get stumped. And you just got to know when to get the fuck up because you get in that bad mood. Yeah, you're going to lose. You just cannot win when you're in a bad place mentally. It's just, I don't know. There's some force to it or something. It feels like it's something.
Yeah, there is a force. It feels like almost when I'm just really so comfortable, like if it feels almost the same as sitting at my coffee table, drinking a cup of coffee and not worrying about nothing in the day, in the morning. If I have that kind of feeling, I usually win. And then I look back and I go, oh yeah, I was in that. I was in the zone.
Right.
I was just not feeling. It wasn't overwhelmingly important that I won. It wasn't, not important. I was just having fun, And then I noticed that with a lot of things in life. When you're just kind of doing something naturally, it works out better. There's a natural progression in life. Anything you're doing naturally, or just not overthinking the whole thing, you usually do better. Yeah. So what else? Scalia. Did you in the news today? Scalia died this week. Huh? The justice.
And he had to die, a year too early, so that the next president could pick the fucking replacement. So it's Obama that's going to put some fucking jackass, half racial person in there.
Yeah, he was going to do the last time I looked on the last vote they took, it was held up by actually Scalia, and it's because there was off balance and then now this thing's going to throw it towards a liberal end, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, our Supreme Court going all full boat liberal, that because then they're not going to be able to block a lot of things that just really last time we had that was well, I don't think it was with the 93 with the when the VAW laws, they pushed them through. Oh yeah, can't wait to see what stupidity they come up with. But we found a cure, haven't we? We just insulate ourselves with Mgtow.
That's exactly right. Just go your own way. Fuck them.
Fuck them. They can do anything they want.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, they'll get the message sooner or later that we're not buying it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this cigar. This is a nice one.
I got my e-cigarette going. That's not bad, these e-cigarettes, but a good cigar, you can't replace that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for those of you tuned in, it's called a Big Dog. I don't know who exactly makes it, but it's a Dominican, I think, and it doesn't say on the wrapper, but I'm pretty sure it's a Dominican, and it's pretty good. It's a mild, light, not light brown, but medium brown wrapper, sort of like a cigar. It's like your dad's cigar.
Mhm.
It's big. Uh, it's Zeta. I haven't seen it. I thought Zeta was going to come in today, but he
Yeah, I haven't seen Zeta take a spot on the mic in what, months now. I see him pop up in chats. What's he been, just busy?
yeah, he's his business is really, really, really doing well right now.
Good for him. That's good.
And he went through a little rough time there, but last time I talked to him, he says he got no time for nothing, and that's good when you're in business.
Yeah, that's very good.
Take advantage of that. Not got no time for nothing. Okay, Paul Wilson just sent me a message about that. he's still going on about that. I had to check that. Yeah, let me see. Oh God. I was telling you, I was arguing. There's some guy that a year later he made a comment on one of my comments, and he wants to argue with me about Mgtow now. I don't think he's a Mgtow. He just wants to argue about it. That's a weird place with these people. So I can't decipher whether he wants to learn more about it, whether I should just tell him about it, and then maybe we'll make a new Mgtow here. That was actually all the way back when I bought this computer. I was researching a computer online, and I left a comment on the ADM 1058K versus the Intel Core i5, and I left a comment on that when I was researching buying this computer, and that's how far it was back. This comment. Why take time on that? You know, you'd figure YouTube comments would only last so long, but they stay forever.
Yeah.
So what else is new in Mgtow?
Yeah, what was it? Shit, I forgot what that was. I can't remember what I was going to say, but there's something going on I was going to ask about, but I forget now.
Yeah. Someone said no, completed his whatever he was completing. There was some like lawsuit or something he told about it. And it was his sister that he was suing him, and I don't know if it was for the kids or for support or something, and she won. That was really wow, you know. So it's not, when we say all women are like that, we really mean even your sister is like that.
Yeah, Jesus.
And Dr. McCoy told me this week he had a stroke this week, so I want to give Dr. McCoy my best wishes. He's you know, he's one of the ardent listeners. I don't know if he's listening right now, but think about Dr. James McCoy. We had him on last week for Trekkie information, but he had a stroke this week, and it was sad. So that's,
no kidding. How old is he?
I don't know. I really don't. He sounds very young still, and he's having some medical difficulties now. So we all give our best. We love Dr. McCoy. We hope he recovers from it and everything. And you know, that's funny. Strokes can hit people at the weirdest time. My sister-in-law had a stroke. My brother's wife. Just walking down the steps one morning, boom. Wow. You know, it could hit somebody at any time. That's one of those unforeseen things. You can do the medical resonance or medical imagery now that he says he's 30. McCoy says he's 30. So he's a very young man. And
very young to have a stroke. No? Jesus.
Wish him the best. And
yes.
One of our favorites around here, and we hope he stays around for a long time. And but it's one of those things in life. You never look forward. You can't. Can't tell.
Yeah, that's what took my grandmother out the last 10 years of life. She had 3 little strokes, and they didn't know how to treat her. And of course, the blood pooled, and it caused a lot of what do you call balance. And she was never right after that. She just never.
Oh yeah, yeah. When they slip away, it's hard. I remember watching my mother. She had leukemia when she was she was dying, and slowly her senses would slip away. And at the end, all she would call me Jimmy.
Yeah.
And and I know why she called me Jimmy, because my father's name was Jim, so she thought I was my father.
Mm.
And she was always happy to see me. And but my father had died like 10 years before that, so it was kind of like, ooh, and she'd call me Jimmy, but that's okay. I would just talk to her, and just talk to her. I didn't care what she thought. She was my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk to her. And that's the sadness in life. Sometimes you have to go through. You still got your parents? Or
My mom.
your
Yeah.
mom? Okay,
She's in good health, thank God.
She's in good health. Does she play poker?
Yes, she does. She's not very good, but she fucking wins anyway. I don't know how the fuck she does it.
Yeah.
Not very good, but goddamn, I remember when I was been playing for a long time, I was still trying to rack up a good win. Here she shows up to a poker room. I brought her up here. Mom, let's try a poker tournament. Let me buy you in. And she fucking won the thing. She played the worst poker I ever saw in my life, and she fucking steamrolled the damn tournament. And that it's taken her years to realize that she didn't know what she was doing, and whatever she did will never work, on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's just that beginner's luck, or whatever you call it, or she was just too hard to figure out. Yeah, my mother was a gambler too. She liked to gamble, and she actually was an excessive gambler. And I always say that I'd probably get my desire to gamble from her, but it's genetic. They say it's genetic. Do you think it's genetic?
Oh, I don't know what's gambling. I mean, it's just being what it is people believe in some imaginary force that's going to make them hit the I don't know if that's genetic. It's just stupidity.
But
excessive gambling, that is.
Yeah, she would win like she would win like that too. I remember we walked into we drove down to where was it? It was that dog racetrack down in West Virginia, and I can't remember if anybody knows the name. And I like to go watch the dog races once in a while. And I like the horses. That's my thing. Mm-hmm. And so we stopped at the Mountaineer, and that was one of the original gambling places, the Mountaineer in the area. And anybody from Ohio to wherever around this, they know the Mountaineer. And I walked in, and we were supposed to stop, just kind of rest. We were going to get a room for the night, and then let's go play slots for a little bit. So I walked in, and the dollar slot says immediately when you walk through the door. I went on the second one. She went on the first one. I lost $20. Moved over to the next one. She went on the one I was on. Won $500.
All right.
And then I moved to the next one. She went on the one I was on. Won another $500. And she did this like 4 or 5 times in a row. I was like, damn.
No shit.
So that was a productive. I think she won $3,000 that day or something like that. I was like, yes, we're gonna spend that. But the Mountaineer was that was one of my favorite places to go, because I would get a room, and then they had the podcast on the TV, so you can watch the race. So I'd always make sure I got the south end of the and the new part of the casino, and I'd open my blinds, and then you could look down into the horse race track, so I could watch it with my binoculars. Kind of sit on the chair, order some whiskey, get a couple beers, and and if I wanted to, I could play slots too on the TV, and and then I never had to leave the room.
Awesome.
I like that. Yeah. For a Mgtow, all those people sometimes bothers me. Just a multitude of people around me and women being irritating and screaming. Oh God, I was in a restaurant yesterday, and a table full of cackling hens came in. There was like 12 of them, and they all started cackling, and my head was hurting so bad. My buddy was looking over at me, and he knows the way I am, and he knows I'm a Mgtow, and he was like, "It's killing you, isn't it?" And I was like, and then finally I was like, I kind of raised my voice and I says, "Yes, the fucking cackling hens won't stop." And then the table kind of hushed down a little bit. I was like, yes, ladies, you just met Traversable Mgtow.
Oh, shit.
That's the only thing I could think. It was like, it was making me crazy. But they are inconsiderate now, aren't they? Do you get that more nowadays, that women get together at bars and restaurants and everything, and it's just like it's that loud laughing, that irritating screeching, yes. And they're having a Tupperware party at the middle of the table, and they're all just cackling. It's like, oh God.
There's something about listening to women talk to each other. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck are you bitches talking about? I've always been that way.
Oh yeah. We did an experiment once, me and my buddy. We sat next to these two girls that we kind of knew, both of them. And we both knew that they were both really self-centered. And we just kind of listened in at the conversation, and we figured out after a while, my buddy turned to me and he goes, "Joe." And I says, "I know." And he says, "Joe, they're both talking about two different things, but they're just talking at each other."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they were just talking at each other, and they weren't even talking about the same thing. That's how stupid they are. Oh God. And I think that was at the beginning of my MRA career, right at the end of my job at I was working for Mobil Oil at that time, and quite an interesting job. If anybody's ever worked in a distillery, not an alcohol distillery, an oil distillery, it's interesting to say the least. But we had women in there. That was irritating. Oh, so what's next? I did order like 4 movies on Amazon this week, and I can't really remember watching any of them now. They were that boring. They were 4 of the new movies, $4.99.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow. After like the next day, I was like, oh, that was so boring. So they're pumping them out. You can watch up to 20, 30 movies in a couple weeks if you're really interested. If you're really a movie buff, huh?
Yeah, no kidding.
Not like you're 42?
Me?
Yeah.
43.
43. So you can remember when you were a child, before all this new tech came around. Like they made like a movie a week.
They did, yeah.
And I remember even back in the 70s, if a new movie would come around like once every 2 weeks to a month, and then that was the next big movie. Mm. And it was like everybody would go watch it, and there would be 2 movies at the movie theater, or 2. You could take your choice, or one movie would play this hour, and then at 6 o'clock the other movie would play, and they'd rotate it that way. It was kind of funny. When I was a kid, I had a job at a movie theater. I was the usher. When I was 16, I was an usher at a movie theater, which was a nightmare. I had to watch The Goodbye Girl. That'll kind of date me. I had to watch The Goodbye Girl like 36 times. Because I worked there, so you had to sit and watch the movie. But the next movie was Saturday with John Travolta.
Yeah,
and that was kind of cool. And then me and the other usher, we had watched it like 114 times or something in a row. And every time you went to work, that was the movie that was playing for like 3 months. It played, and we knew by the end of the 3 months we knew all the words to the movie.
Yeah.
So I'd stand there, and it was a way to pick up girls. So he'd stand on one end, and I would say a line before he said it, and then he would say a line, and the girls like, "Oh, you guys are so brilliant." I was like, not really. I just seen it 114 times. This is? Oh, but I think if I watched that movie now, I wouldn't even know what it was about. I just rejected it after all that. The movie theaters were kind of cool back then. I liked the whole movie theater thing.
Yeah, now that they've got, I'm surprised that movie theaters seem to stay in business now that there's all these other ways of seeing movies.
Oh yeah, they tried to deal with it at one point in the 90s in Ohio, at least they did, and they brought alcohol into the movie theaters. They made it like a bar atmosphere where you could go get a drink.
Awesome.
And go get a beer and then sit down and watch a movie. And then the state, well, yeah, the ugly state came and regulated it, so they couldn't do that no more. I was like, I like that idea, because I would go see a movie now. If you could go get a beer and or dinner at a movie theater and then go to the movie and see it, that would be a much more pleasurable experience, huh?
Sure it would.
God, yeah, it would be. But the state had to get their fingers in on that too. Yet they can't be like Lara Croft. Lara Croft. I don't know what that conversation was about. Okay. Well, what else is Mgtow Day and nothing else? We're kind of in a lull here at Mgtow, aren't we?
Yeah, no real new crazy events, but I'm sure that'll change. Somebody will do something.
Yeah, we're kind of. What are we at the edge of? The neo-Nazi Mgtows, and that's finally going away, isn't it? I was so glad that's going away.
Yeah, I didn't pay much attention to that shit.
Oh God, it was so irritating. And if you got it right away, then you had to just kind of live through it, and say, no, these guys, that's not Mgtow. And that's all we were saying from the beginning. I guess that's not Mgtow. That doesn't happen in here. They were pushing that on us. And they wanted to remind us that the whole world was full of neo-Nazis. And I don't think we get too much of that in here. I think a few in Michigan you can still have. Mgtow Oracle says, I think that in Michigan you can still get a beer and watch a movie. That would be great.
Yeah.
If it was a good beer and a Stein, it would be really, really good. And I think there was a place in Cleveland where they had he had bought like a ton of them German Steins, so you could get your beer and go watch a movie for that. That was nice. Or it was a 32-ounce beer. That's probably why there was probably fights and stuff like that, and it didn't go over too well. So I'm about halfway through the cigar, and it's still pretty good.
I have to get some now. Now you got me in the mood for cigars. I'm gonna have to go get some.
You have to go get some, yeah. You can get them delivered to your house now.
But yeah.
Yeah, don't go to Thompson. S&R is the one we're kind of pushing. S&R, you can go to S&R, order them online, and they don't pull all the stupid shit on you, send you shit that you didn't want.
Right.
That gets irritating. Once you give them their credit card, they assume they're like women. They assume that that's their credit card. They can just send you shit. Yeah. So S&R is pretty good. There's a few good online cigar shops. They're usually pretty fresh. I like getting the bags too, the humidor bags that they send you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you order the 5-pack, they're going to send you it in a humidor bag, and then you can keep the humidor bags, and then once you do those bags, you can put cigars in there and it'll keep them like for ever unless you open it, and after that it keeps them for 90 days after that.
Yeah.
So it's a good way if you don't have a really good box to keep your cigars in. I just have a Tupperware box. I keep them in yeah, it's a clear Tupperware box, and that does the job. The same as a humidor. I put a little scale in there and drop some water in there once in a while, and it keeps it fine. There's all kinds of stuff that people want you to buy. They add to it additives and little humidor tubes that you throw in there that kills the bacteria. But I find if you take from the aspirin bottle, if you take that cotton out of there and save that, you use that for your humidor because it's already got a natural inhibitor inside the cotton that'll kill all the bacteria, and it's really good when you're using. I use that for my humidor cotton. So that's a little trick I've learned over the years. And it doesn't hold all. It holds the water really good, and it lasts a while. I think I put water in about every 5 days, and that's pretty good. So nice. I don't know if anybody else smokes. Indeed, feminine women are hot. Feminine women are hot. Still would like to put a ring on a finger to have a relationship. One goes, will find a way. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're going to find a way to screw you over. It's so natural and innate in society now that I would think that any man that goes down that road with dating and marriage now could he's just what he's doing is he's doing the math on how much it's going to cost him and saying, yeah, I can accept that for what I'm going to get. And he's doing a cost evaluation now because you got to know at the end you're going to get screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it doesn't. Shining was supposed to come in on this one. It doesn't look like Shining's going to show up.
Yeah, bastard Shining. How dare you?
And next week it will be Messenger will be in. I think he's doing it every couple of weeks now.
Awesome.
So we'll do our monthly with Messenger. And I don't know who is. I was looking at trying to talk to a few guys this week and get them in. I sent some invites out to Samaritech Man. I was really interested in talking to Samaritech Man, Smartech, but I don't know if he's gonna send me back my invite on that. And Howard Dare came in today. That was I like Howard, real. We like around here. We like normal, upfront guys. That he was a good guy. I'd like to do a chat sometimes. Mgtow Oracle would like to do it. Okay, I'll send you a invite on it. I like to put everything in boxes and categories. So I'll send you an invite on G+. If you have G+, set your G+ up, and I'll set you an invite on that, and we'll get to chat and bring you in. Maybe you could do the Thursday if you're around Thursday or the Sunday. Let's try to get to Thursday. What do you think of the Thursday night one?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
More talks.
Yeah, I'd like to do more and more chats, Mgtow chats, and it just kind of opens up. It's a different thing, and I don't have to make as many videos, and it seems to be a little better where you can get to know me. I can get to know the people in the chat room, where you get to know who's around, and definitely chatting face to face with people like yourself and me is 10 times better than trying to converse over text.
Sure.
You don't have to deal with Poe's law. Poe's law is no matter what you say, unless you give a sarcasm little thing or a laugh out loud, people will misunderstand you.
Yeah.
And that is so true when you're chatting in text, isn't it?
I just think people want to misunderstand, especially on YouTube. They're just drama. They look for it.
Yeah, there is a lot of drama, especially with the trolls like I'm dealing with right now. I had a great mailbag comment, but I can't remember how far I'd have to go back. Let me see if I read previous comments, if I can get it for you. Some guy just went off on me. It was so funny. It was actually one of the funnier ones that went off on me. I can't dig it up. It's that far back. I saved it on That's what Shining was going to come in and do the mailbag today, but he I went to Attikin's, the Ibmore, and I was watching Attikin's video, and for some reason, I guess he thought I was of color, so he told me that the neo-Nazis were going to come uh, ass rape me, and I was going to be their bitch. And then he called me a bunch of names that you could see really racist, and then I was like, dude, I am as pasty white as. I wanted to tell him that, but I just didn't. Like, okay, just keep it going. You're just proving my point, Well, they're relentless, them neo-Nazis, aren't they?
I only saw that one guy you all talked about. I haven't seen any of them.
You haven't seen any around
I
yet,
don't
John?
look for that stuff, so I don't know if whatever they're going on. That shit doesn't enter my YouTube.
Yeah, but that was on Ibmore. Yeah, so I can guess
They still have Ibmore. No kidding. I didn't think that thing was going to last, but
yeah, it's dwindling a little in scope and size because it was rather big. And it's coming more back. A lot of the guys are returning to Mgtow because they just see the common sense, and around here it's just we can all get along and we don't have to really ask those difficult questions of race or color or creed or about each other. It's just that we're all men and we're all fighting for the same thing around here, and
right.
it just kind of works out better than segregating yourself. And I always say when you segregate yourself, you isolate yourself, and then that's when the real crazy starts, isn't it?
That's when it starts.
Yeah, you start going deep inside of your psyche, and everybody becomes a hater, and everything becomes a problem, and you see your problem in every problem, and that would be classified as groupthink, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So you start seeing your problem where your problem doesn't exist, and that's one of the things that we have to watch out for in Mgtow too. We say all roads lead to Mgtow and feminism is everywhere, but a certain portion of that is groupthink and an inherent bias on isolating ourselves too much from regular society. I can't imagine you do that. You don't do that, Bern, and I don't do that. I get out, and deal with, but a lot of these guys, they just isolate and Mgtow. They see, they see ghosts,
Yeah. Right.
And so you got to get out, take a deep breath, sometimes shake this stuff off and say, no, the whole world's not like it, but I can see it when it happens, and that's when I need it. I need my Mgtow when that's happening in front of me, or some bitch is trying to play me, or even in my family someone's trying to play me for some gynocentric reason. I can see it now, but we can overdo it, can't we?
We sure can.
Mm-hmm. He says neo-Nazis are tools. Yeah, they are. Oh, God. Warn Mgtow engage in groupthink immediately following with you don't do that, and I don't do that, though. Warn Mgtows engages in groupthink. I don't, yeah, maybe that was I'm trying to think about what I said. But yeah, never mind. Been ghosting for 7 years now. Chance says he's been ghosting for 7 years. He feels free. I'll bet you. So it's burning really evenly. It's hasn't run yet. That's perfect. So I will give this cigar a big dog, probably a 7 on a 7 to 10. It's not a Cohiba, but it's a decent smokable cigar. So if you're looking for a decent cigar, this one had a light Maduro wrapper on it, and I think you call that a Colorado Light, but it's cool.
How much would that run for? One of them.
I think I paid with a discount. I paid $29 for 5 cigars. So 30, for $6 a piece. So if you went to a store, it would probably cost you about $8 to $10 for this one.
Yeah.
But
that's why I smoke Swisher Sweets. They're fucking $4 for $1 or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's it. Now I can smoke like 2 of these and really be satisfied a day. Sometimes 1, sometimes I don't even smoke one. I'm trying to do this so I stopped smoking cigarettes, and then I just you don't inhale cigars really.
No.
So I keep my lungs a little fresher, and then I just I'm trying to get off the cigarettes. And cigarettes were, for so long, it was a stress relief for me. And it became a part of my life, which was really, really bad.
Yeah, cigarettes, they're I still I have doubts about how bad it is to smoke just natural tobacco, more like a cigar, but those cigarettes are nothing more than cardboard with a bunch of chemicals dripped into them, Hundreds of chemicals come on that tobacco before it's rolled up into those cigarettes. I mean, that's just corrupt, that whole thing.
Yeah, they want you to get addicted to those things.
Yeah, I don't even think that the tobacco itself is as addictive as the chemicals they're putting in there.
Yeah. Now, somebody told me the other day cigarette tobacco and cigar tobacco is the same thing. I was like, I beg to differ.
Yeah, I beg to differ too, man.
Yeah, that's two different separate beasts there.
Totally different animals. It's almost like they're really, honestly, a regular like corporate cigarette is hardly even tobacco. It's you can hardly recognize it as tobacco.
Yeah.
It's so perverted.
Yeah, there's a different taste too, and a different. The whole thing is just totally different, and I think cigarettes are an American thing. Tobacco is sort of a south of the border, different climates, and it's very. I don't a Virginia leaf to a. I know Virginia, and you can grow cigarette tobacco almost anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't even probably know. You can grow it in your backyard here if you start the tobacco plants. And you guys, I'm going to try this year. I'm going to order tobacco seeds. And I have that cloner now. That's for a different reason we won't talk about. But, so I'm going to start the tobacco leaves early this year with the lighting and what I have. So you need an 8-month season so I can start them. As a matter of fact, I should probably start them in a week or 2 here so I can get them inside. And that way when summer comes, I can move them outside. So I think I'm going to do that experiment myself this year and grow tobacco. I've been looking. I got some glass some guy gave me, so I'm going to put up a little greenhouse. You should have any trouble growing tobacco in Virginia. I'm in Ohio. That's the only problem. Yeah. So I'm going to start it early and see how that thing works out. And they're rather hardy looking plants. I can plant them around my house for decorations.
Yeah.
And when it comes time to harvesting, I'll let you guys know how that goes this year. And maybe I'll roll a few cigars up out of them and see how they taste. I'll give a review on Joe's tobacco. I'll be like, yeah, I actually had time when I moved in. I moved into this house last year at this time, actually. So I'm in here about a year now. And I still haven't had time to get everything right the way I want it. And the garden and the bushes, the whole thing is just not me. And that's one of the things I wanted to start putting little gardens around the edges so I can have all my little things going and little horticulture projects and get some fruit trees in here. Hey, Steve Hoka deleted his videos. Yeah, did you notice Steve Hoka deleted some of his videos?
I never even look at his channel. I should. I have to admit, I'm not familiar with his content. I've seen a few of his videos.
I think he started a new channel too. If you type in Steve Hoka, it's going to come up. His new channel is called, I can do it here real quick, but just type it in Steve Hoka Mgtow, and his new channel will come up under there. So Steve started a new channel, I'm pretty sure, and he's probably he does that every once in a while. Uh, that every he'll stay around a year and then he'll start a new channel, and he's got a lot of his running videos on there when he's running, and he's got a lot of other stuff on it, like non-Mgtow stuff. So he is changing his channel, and he's kind of veering away from the Mgtow scene right now. Again, because Steve's been around forever.
Yeah.
And we all know that sooner or later he's going to get sick of us all. And okay, hey, I'm going to dinner. I'll message you about the chat Thursday. Okay, sure. We can bring you in, Mgtow Oracle. And thanks for coming around. And we'll talk about that categorizing that you wanted to talk about. And, Joe, smoke some marijuana. It's good for insomnia. Is it good for insomnia?
Yeah. Oh, it's a great sleep. I think it's more of it's very good for relaxing before bed, getting you down a couple notches. And I always smoke before I go to bed when I was smoking,
Yeah.
At least then. That's the best. Curling up in bed, getting high and curling up in bed with a book and just kind of read yourself to sleep. That's the best.
Yeah, I still have so much to learn about marijuana. Like I told you, most of my life I was the anti-marijuana guy, and because I smoked marijuana when I was a kid, and I told you, I was at a hippie beginning, so I seen the effects of the marijuana culture, and then I became very anti-marijuana during my, and that's what I did in the Army. That was my military career. Actually, not in the Army. I worked for a group out of America, a company, a corporation, actually, where I was a military contractor, and we went to, take care of that problem when the problem was at its height. So that was my military career there. But I've changed my mind as of late. Heartburn knows how my opinion on marijuana. See, you can change your opinion in life on those things.
Yes, you can. You certainly can.
And I was going to try it. So I can't get it in Ohio. There's no way for me at my age. If I walked up to a 21-year-old guy that was on a street corner, he would think I was a cop.
Yeah.
And I just can't. I have no friends that smoke it. And it's really, really hard for me to get. I have one friend, and he lives 80 miles away. He has to drive all the way, and he just doesn't like to do that. So I can get some. So I don't know how it would work with insomnia. I'd like to try that one night, take a couple puffs and see if it'll just put me into that relaxed state. But the kind of marijuana I'm looking for is low THC marijuana.
Why? Why?
Well, it's what I was used to when I smoked when I was a younger kid, and I always enjoyed the low THC. There's a couple brands out there, I don't know what you call them now, that are good tasting. They have low THC. You don't get paranoid, and it made you more active. I don't know what you would call that mix now.
Well, I mean, more active would be, sativas tend to give you more of an up feeling, and indicas tend to be more relaxing. But THC is pretty much in both of them. I mean, THC by itself is what gives you the good mental buzz,
Yeah, yeah. Back in the day when I was a teenager, when I did smoke pot, I can remember it was called Jamaican. And it had a white powdery over the top. It almost looked like it had this white powdery look to it. I don't know what you call that now. And that's why I kind of like that stuff. I never liked the Colombian gold and the Colombian red and that really, really high THC. A lot of guys were looking for the really high because I noticed that if I smoke it, and we're all different, if I smoked it, I got paranoid. That's what you guys would call this pot's called I'll help you on your way home.
Yeah.
Do they have a brand that's named that now? I'll help you home.
They got nowadays, some of these guys are growing, just thousands of strains, just thousands of different little varieties. It's amazing.
So I'm going to grow my own and regulate it now. Look for a brand That's why I bought I got the what do you call that? The actual machine that does it now, and I can take clippings from what I find is good and what I find is bad, and I can discard what and then just grow what I want here.
Right.
And hopefully, I won't get arrested. If you guys if I do get arrested, then you guys say, hey, guys, I'll be putting my Patreon up there. Please donate to Joe's get out of jail card.
Well, listen, it's 6:05. I'm gonna go get some dinner.
Okay, well,
Or 7:05.
it was a good chat. These are a little free flowing, these second ones, and it's nice having you on. It's always good talking to you.
Yes, sir. Nice to drop by.
Yeah, so thanks, on. And with that, maybe we'll end this now unless somebody else comes in, and I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll end the broadcast now, and you guys take care, and I'll see you Thursday.